welcome back. This will be session 9. This will be session 9 of Mork Borg on our third character, not hero. It's early. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I should be working, but it's Friday afternoon and everyone seems to have disappeared. So I thought I'd do this for an hour because I don't think I'm going to get to play again until a week's time. So we left Harmug in a lichen encrusted old tumble down. It described it as a temple, but we discovered 3 rooms. One was a very overgrown room which Harmug had to force his way through, which contained an owl nest. The owl went away and Harmug accidentally stuck his foot through the eggs that were in the nest. He then moved into a very empty chamber which contained the desiccated corpse of someone wearing robes who had seemingly poisoned themselves. And finally we stumbled upon what seemed to be an old dilapidated library, and within that there was a nest of some throat cutter birds who attacked Harmug on sight. Harmug was knocked unconscious. The birds left, and Harmug has awoken. After being unconscious, he'd settled himself down for the night and has awoken to a new day. So we'll start a new day with Harmug, and so as we start every day, we will start it with a roll for the calendar. Yes, the dice is up. I'll use my green. I fancy getting a 1. My green nope, another 5. So our calendar. So we are on the 8th day, but we still have 6 days of travel to get to the north to find the firstborn goat. I'm erring again. So we will look at our weather to start the day as Harmug forces his way back through. Let's roll a. So I was looking at. I think I might use. So this came with. It's called Park Pale. It came with Sölitary Defilement, and it's got backtracking. Roll a d6. 1 to 4, no encounter. 5, common encounter. 6, it says encounter NPC. But this is for Park Pale. So if we roll 1 to 4, coming back through, the owls haven't come back whilst Harmug was sleeping. 6. So we will say that the owls are there. Where we got the Frosty. Carrion owls only eat what died the night. Okay, so the owls were still there, slightly scaring Harmug. Oh god! But he's going to make a lot of noise. Harmug will make a lot of noise going through, scaring the owls as they leave. So I don't even know why I bothered rolling. Scaring the owls as they leave. Harmug will go outside, stick his head outside, and see that 10. We've had that before for weather. I think that is. The drizzle. It's the constant drizzle that we're getting this time of year. So the mist has lifted and the drizzle has returned. Harmug has 3 days of food left, so he doesn't have to go hunting for food at the moment. I think what Harmug will do is up in the mountains, because the drizzle, the mist has lifted, so he was lost. The mist has lifted. He will try to head back towards the road. He will try to head back towards the road and restart his process of seeing if he can find that village that Vargal, the large giant who had died, where Vargal lived, which might potentially be empty. Otherwise, he will veer and continue north along his journey. So we roll a d8. to see if Harmug comes across any form of settlement. Nope. That's no. So then we will see. Well, let's see if Harmug can find the road first. Let's see if Harmug can find the road. So he's not on the road. He's going to attempt to head down the hill and find the road. So let's make a perceive. So that's a presence test. As it's up the hill and he doesn't have the mist to confuse him, there is the drizzle. So he will be slippy. Yeah, that was right, wasn't it? Because it was the goblin. Then he fought the goblin, and then he slept in the cave. When he awoke, it was misty. He got confused trying to get back down to the road. So now the mist has lifted. Normally, when you're out and there's mist, you can quite easily get lost in the mist. It's best to sit down and not keep walking because you will get lost, and then you can get proper lost and hurt yourself. So you just sit down and you let the mist lift. So now the mist has lifted, it should be easy for him to find. So we'll make a presence check for our Harmug, who has a 0 presence, giving a 19 roll. So okay. So after a few hours of traipsing through and slipping on the muddy road, swearing to myself and getting right annoyed with getting lost last night, Harmug will get down towards the road, and then we will see. So we won't bother rolling on what the road is like because he would have rejoined that paved road that he left in the storm. But we will see what Harmug comes across on his travels. A 7. The road forks. Okay, so whilst travelling along the paved road, because of the drizzle, there isn't many people that Harmug is coming across. He reaches a fork in the road, picks it up off the ground, goes, "What's this fork doing in the road?" It's an old joke. 18. Ah! Well, what do you know? So 18 was an abandoned graveyard. Now what it says is when you roll an italicized result, cross it out and replace it with something of your own. So abandoned graveyard was where Nargel went to, but we've passed that now. Nargel and her zombies. But I replaced that with Park Pal, which was the thing that I was looking at. I just thought at the beginning of this, if I need to run Park Pal, I really am going to have to read it first. So I might pause this momentarily, quickly read this, and then come back. So we need the continuity person to make sure that they know I'm holding this. I'm going to pause this, quickly read this, then we'll come back. But basically, Harmug has turned right because in that direction, he can see a sort of a country house, which looks quite out of place in this area. But maybe that's why we've got these paved roads. A country house with a fence around it, because I remember that from the thing. And he will head towards there. Right. Is it running? Yes. Okay, so I've read it. All right. I've read it, and I'm going to put it somewhere. Here it is. Yes? Yes. Okay. So, Park Pal. We have... so Park Pal already has for us common encounters, rare encounters, NPC tables for rolling on. We have 4 special locations already outlined, and there's an area for backtracking as well. And we have our setup. Now, according to this, there's a reason to come here that we know about, but what it describes it as is that we have Misery Lodge. And our Harmug will go, "Hold on, I think I've heard of Misery Lodge. Let's do a bit of exposition. Exposition? Exposition, yes. Oh, and ages ago, I believe it's called a soliloquy. I believe that talking to the audience is a soliloquy," says Harmug for no reason whatsoever. Anyway, hold on, isn't this isn't this Park Pale? Park Pale with Misery Lodge. Oh, that's a banqueting hall. That was a fine dining banqueting hall. Something happened to it though. I remember hearing about it back in Golgenbeck. Something happened to Park Pal. But if that's a banqueting hall, there might be some food there, and I'm getting short on food. So this might be to my advantage. I can go and get some stuff, dump some of my stuff and get some better stuff. I could do with something better than this bloody club. Something that does a bit more damage would be really handy. Alright. Alright. I'm still feeling a bit peaky. So, I could rest another night and then go in tomorrow. But it's still quite daytime. Like, it's still most of the day going. It's a waste of daytime. Maybe I can take this. Alright, I'm going to... No, that's a waste because it removes infection. If I get infected... I don't know. I just feel a little bit dubious sneaking in with a bit of a, you know, a bit of a dodgy head. Sod it. Let's go for it. So, what we have as described to us is I might do so. Call of Cthulhu has some solo games, so I got the Call of Cthulhu starter set, the starter box, and I might do that directly after. You know, I'm not saying Harmug was going to die, but it's highly likely Harmug is going to die, and so I'm going to do. So Call of Cthulhu has. So I haven't played Cthulhu since the last time I went to. Not even the last time I went to PAX. Because the last time I went to PAX, I took my youngest as well as my eldest. And because my youngest is a bit too young for Cthulhu, or at the time she was, it was pre-COVID, it was 2019. It's the only time she ever been to PAX. It was the first time she was old enough to go. And then 2019, then we had COVID. And though it ran last year and is running this year, we didn't get tickets. But I'm going to take her next year. So for 2024, we'll go to PAX. This is in Australia, so in Melbourne. Anyway, I digress. Call of Cthulhu. So the last time I played Cthulhu was 2018, and I was thinking, because particularly when I kind of discovered solo role playing, which I'm really quite enjoying, and I really like Sölitary Defilement. This as a way to spark is really good, and I can tell it's based off of the Iron Sworn, and I really enjoyed Iron Sworn Starforge, so I will play that again. But anyway, so Cthulhu, I might do Cthulhu, but the solo game is basically a choose your own adventure. So if I do that in front of camera, it's going to basically be me doing this. You arrive at the edge of a heavily wooded estate wherein Park Pal lies. Your first task will be to find the gates and enter somehow, and then to find a vantage point high enough to spy for the location of Misery Lodge. The woods are eerily silent. 3 paths weave through the trees. Another one of my awesome drawings. Trees, fence around the outside. So this is like the forest is a hunting ground. And within the hunting grounds is Misery Lodge, which we're going to have to find. Choose a path and make your first dungeon crawling move. You never guessed I used to be a school teacher. So, alright then. Where are we going to go? East, keep going north, or west? Well, we all know west is best, don't we? So, Harmug will, holding club in hand, will start to move towards the west. Right, let's mark. Can I mark that page? Make it easy to find. Come on. There you go. Right. Dungeon call. This is a DR10 dungeon. So it's slightly less than medium. Actually, I wonder why they made it a DR10. I suppose because it's a small one shot. A DR10 dungeon. Make it a 12, make it harder, but that's probably going to just make it go longer. Okay, so this is probably going to end up, I wonder, I'm going to put right down, maybe 9 rooms. So I'm predicting that we get 9 rooms before we get our finale. So, DR10. Which is just the roll versus the DR. So we fight. So straight off we get our first special room, and our first special room is Harmug pushes away through some vines hanging down onto a very narrow track, moving off towards the west, and he continues. Quite soon the track turns from west towards the north, and Harmug comes across a fence with a large gate in the middle. One. Now we have more to read. 30-foot high spiked walls dotted with decaying heads. The iron gate is locked with a heavy chain. And then it's got bits like possible things that we could attempt to do. So, you know, we could climb over the wall. We could attempt to break the chain. So there's thick. There's thick. The iron is wrist thick that makes up the gate, and it's a double gate which obviously would swing open, allowing the guests to come in, probably via horse and cart. So maybe this road would have been better back before the fall and the decaying, dying lands began to die. The sky being a strange sort of red colour. Maybe it's all the burning fires that are starting around the kingdom. But Harmug will grab the chain and give it a shake. Oh, that's not budging easily. I could climb this, but that's 30 foot high. I haven't got any rope. I could tear the blanket up, but I need that blanket. Oh God, I've got a bloody tiara. I could fireball it. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I've got telekinesis. What would that do? Will it help me? That it. Looking through, he can see that the path continues on, and whereas there were possibly sort of a field, lots of the grass has grown to sort of waist, almost shoulder height in places, so it's hard for him to try and see what's there. I wonder if I could jump it. Can I jump it? Climb a tree? Maybe jump onto the wall or something? I mean, I'm not the most jumpy of people. Oh! There's a lock! Look at that. There's a lock here. I've got my lockpicks. I could try and do that. I could try and pick the lock. Pick the lock. Smash the chains. I'm not going to climb that bloody fence. I'll tell you that. That's for dead set, because I haven't got any rope. That's 30 foot old. If I fall off that, I'm buggered. Alright. Let's get down. So he takes his smelly pack that he got off the body of off the back of the cave of the goblin. Will drop to his knees and start to examine this lock. It's a bit of a rusty one. This is going to be a bit difficult. Alright, warm the old hands up. Get out the old picks. Maybe the old metal file. Maybe I can file it. It's a bit old. Alright, let's give it a go. Okay, so it says a DR14 agility. So he's got +1 agility. Alright, Harmug, let's see what you can do. Okay, we'll count it as a 2. Oh, he's getting tough. Come on. Come on, you beauty. Come on. Snap. Oh. I think I'm a bit too heavy-handed. Alright. I will give that another go. And see what I can do. So he'll try and pick the lock again. If he fails this one with a roll like that, he's going to jam the lock. And it's going to be impossible to pick from this point forwards. And then he's going to have to try and work out something else. Oh, hold on. It says here, each time you fail a test, a small shriveled imp emerges from the mouth of one of the heads on the top of the... Okay. Desiccated sprite. Alright, so basically there's a defense mechanism. So he'll go, alright, I'm going to get at me. What the bloody hell?
What are you doing down there? Get away from me. What are you doing down there?
And this little sprite will jump down and attempt to just pounce onto Harmog's face. It's a desiccated spyrite. It's a little imp. Tiny little green imp. It's probably about, if it's coming out of a head, so there's a head, so the imp must be around this size. It's a, what's that? Half a foot? 15 centimetres? Is that 15 centimetres? How big is that? It's that big. Wearing a little pair of shorts with a real turned up spiky nose. Overall, for some reason I imagine he means green. With sharp, dirty, manky looking claws. Bounds onto Harmug's face. So I'm going to write down his stats. He has hit points of 2, a morale of 7, and his little dirty nails do a D2 scratching, and there's a 1 in 4 chance every round that a second spyrite will hear an attack. Round 1 in 4 new. Don't know why I'm writing down because it's all there.
Get away from there. Get away.
Harmug will bound back on his haunches, and we will have initiative. So Harmug gets the advantage. We'll say that his club was laying down on the floor next to him. As the sprite, the imp, dives onto Harmug, Harmug will roll onto his back, get the club, and attempt to sort of bat the sprite away. So as though he's just had a fast ball. Try and see if he can clear that sprite. The sprite, does it say anything about it being particular? Well, it's small. It's small and it's fast. Would that mean... Well, it's a strength check, isn't it? Isn't that right? That's a strength check for eating stuff. Yes, strike. So he's got a +2, has our Harmug, but I'm going to give this a DR 14 to hit the sprite, and he rolls a 15. So that gives him a 17. The sprite has D2 damage and no armor. 3 points. So as the sprite jumps down to attack Harmug, he goes, "Oh my god!" Grabs it, rolls, hits the sprite, who then goes, "Oh god, I'm covered in imp. The worst thing, covered in imp. My house burns down, I run away from my city, I get lost, I go into a tower. Oh, first off, a manky warrior tells me I've got to head north, and now I'm compelled to go and do it. And now I've got Sprite in my mouth. Oh, God." So wiping his face down from this little spiral. I'm not going to roll to see if there's any plunder, because the plunder is green ooze. Harmug will go, "Alright, there's got to be something good in here. There's bound to be something good in here." And he will get out his lockpicks, keeping an eye out if there's any more. Attempt to work on this lock again, hoping that nothing else turns up. It can't be any more of them things, can there? It was surely would have turned up. He's rolled a 2 again. Okay. Harmug, you mug. The lock jams. It's got a lockpick sticking out. Harmug stands up. "Oh, what am I doing?" If he fails initiative, the imp will get a free hit on him, and then we'll do initiative. Yeah. What am I doing? There's an imp attacking down. Let's see if Harmug can react and avoid this. So it's an agility check. He has +1, but he has his scale mail armor, which gives him a +2 to the DR. So it's technically a plus, only a. So that's a 17. So he technically has a -1 to that, getting a 16. So as it dives down, Harmug slips on a bit of imp, falls to the ground as the imp flies past and lands on the ground to Harmug's left. Harmug looks across. What the hell are you lot?
Get away from our gate!
And it jumps at Harmug. So now we'll have initiative between Harmug and the imp. That's a 6. Which means that Harmug, with one-handedly, attempts to batter this imp as it comes pelting into Harmug's face. Missing because of the ferocious ball of...
You killed my mate! You killed Tiny!
as it jumps into Harmug's face. And Harmug misses it. So the imp attempts to claw into Harmug's eyes. A 12, which would be a -1, which would be an 11. I don't think that's good enough. I think Harmug gets angry imp scratches. So the imp is now sort of affixed into Harmug's face. We can imagine Harmug's got... He's not shaved, is he? So he'll have a scraggy beard, not a beautiful beard like mine. And clawing into Harmug's face. Doing a D2 damage. Claw. Doing 2 points of damage into Harmug's face. Oh no, because Harmug can mitigate, can't he, with his armor. So it's mainly its toe claws. It's toenails, I believe they're called. Not toe claws. It's toenails. Toenails, darling. Clawing at his chest as it's just holding onto his beard. It's like when you see a cat. A cat would do it. When you see a cat grab something and then do its back claws, or a kangaroo. Skibby. Terrible at anything. But I'm just like traditional Octonauts. I can do a very bad Australian accent or the north of England. That's it. That's my accent range. Or, which I haven't done in years. A series of books that, and they also did the film, The Bad Guys, the Piranha. I loved doing the Piranha when I used to read those to you. Anyway, I digress. The imp is scratching at Harmug's chest, but the armor has protected him this time from the scratches. There's a tussle as Harmug is basically fighting an action man. It's an angry action man who is really...
You killed Tiny! You killed Tiny!
And so he's going to attempt to claw at Harmug again. Harmug can't resist his claws again. So I'll do both at the same time. 2 points of damage, mitigating all. Again, this imp hasn't really learned. It's clawing at his chest. So Harmug will attempt to fling it off. Doing a 13 plus 2, a 15. Will count that as a hit. So Harmug will fling it off. Because it's too close, we would assume that Harmug can't use his club. So it would be an unarmed damage. What's unarmed damage count as? Is that a D4? Unarmed damage is a D2. Alright. So Harmug will fling this imp at the wall, doing 1 point of damage. That is causing the imp half damage. Now this is the second turn, so I need to roll a D4 for this turn to see if a second imp had joined this, and it will dive onto... No. It will dive onto Harmug. So we will do morale for this imp, and the imp might... But if it flees, we'll say it goes and gets its mate, and when Harmag tries to do something else, he's going to be attacked by two imps, like win, lose or fail. If we roll over it, yeah, that's over. So the imp goes,
I'm gonna get more mates.
and he's, oh no, we'll do a so 1 to 3 is going to run away and get his mates. Yep.
I'm gonna get more mates. I'm coming back for you. I'm coming back for you, fella. You watch yourself.
It will scamper up the wall and disappear back into one of the heads. This is mental. What the hell's going on around here? Alright. Okay. That lock is bust. Oh, like I could try getting in some other way, see if there's another way in here. Go back down and go around, see if there's another way in. But I've got a funny old feeling this is it. I could just try climbing if I like. Climbing says here it's a DR16 toughness to basically manhandle himself over the wall. Or he's got a DR16, so he can I could try and do a strong man and just break the chains. He has no companions. He hasn't got a spade, so he can't dig under the wall. Alright, so the only thing I'm thinking is that I wonder if there's any trees. Are there any trees close enough that Harmug could do the old jump over the top? Probably hurt himself. No. There's not. There's absolutely no trees anywhere near the fence. Alright, I suppose I could try climbing the wall. Alright, try climbing the wall. Let's climb the wall. Climb the wall. Climb. So he had one omen, didn't he? From that sleep. Oh, well, he woke up. He woke up that night. But no. No, if he wakes up in the morning and he wakes up because he got attacked by little birds and he got knocked unconscious, he doesn't heal or get any omens back. So he just has the one omen. So we might use that to get over this wall. He needs to make a toughness 16 check with his toughness is 2. Alright. I'm going to try to climb this wall. So he puts everything back into his backpack. Puts his backpack on top of his back, tries to tie the ropes tighter so that they don't hurt him. Alright, off I go. Up I go, climbing the wall. He rolls a 16 plus his 2 toughness, gives an 18. So he gets to the top of the wall, panning, keeping an eye on all of these little skulls to make sure nothing comes out. He will then turn and gently drop down to the ground, and he's now on the other side of the wall and he has cleared the wall. So he turns to look and survey the tall grass and work out where he's going to go next, and at that point he hears attack, and the little imp and a mate dive on him from behind. Now because they screamed attack, we will give an initiative roll, and they do win the initiative. So one imp tries to dive on the back of Harmug's head, and the other imp is going to try and fix himself onto Harmug's neck. The one on the head will be the one that's already taken 1 point of damage. So Harmug is taken by surprise. I'll roll two d20s at the same time with Harmug trying to scrabble off of them. The one on the fixed onto his shoulder, we'll take that to be the 3. Can't get a grip on properly and slips to the ground. The one on the head grabs onto we could do it the other way around because Harmug's hair will be as greasy as all heck, so that could be the one who slips off. But anyway, the one that grabs onto the head is grabbing onto the hair and is attempting to scratch away at Harmug's back of Harmug's head, doing 1 point of damage. Gouging away at the back of Harmug's head. If Harmug loses another point of damage, I'm going to have him, instead of doing an attack, he will drink that potion, that elixir. Heal a d6 and it's bound to roll a 1. So Harmug will attack the one that's been attacking him, which is the one who's on 1 hit point. grabbing that imp and attempting to throw him off and get some distance. Come on, Harmug. A 13 plus 2 strength, giving a 15. I'm happy with that. The minimum damage Harmug can do is 1 point, and so that is that imp sent bundling over. There's a log laying on the ground. The imp hits the log and then lays against the log, looking quite uncomfortable in its wrong weapon, misformed, in its misformed way. Let's see what would it so that's Harmug. Harmug will then turn to face the other imp. I guess as they're 50% off, is this imp 50% off? As they're 50% down, is this imp going to be? That's exactly 7, and it says here if you roll over the creature's morale. So that's really made that imp angry.
Why do you keep killing us? Oh my god, I keep killing you because you're irritating.
That imp is now going to come bounding at... Oh, I don't know who that is. Been phoned. I get called by some dodgy numbers, and it's that time of day where you get called by something telling you that PayPal has taken $5 million out of your account. Anyway, initiative. The imp gets bounding up and then leaps at Harmug, coming straight at him. Harmug is unable to defend himself, and the imp claws at Harmug's face and chest, but does no damage, just claws at his chest, and Harmug goes, "Will you lot bugger off?" and tries to throw the little imp off. 13 plus 2, 15. Happy with that. The little imp goes flying in the other direction, hits a rock, cracks its little imp's head, and lays on the floor. Harmug is now on 3 hit points, breathing heavily. Oh man, these little imps are bloody irritating. Alright, let's get away from here as quickly as possible. So then Harmug will just turn, keeping his eye on the skulls, and back into the grass and attempt to find something else. And we will now do a engineering check. So we've got 1 room, so this would be 2d20 plus 1, so plus 1 to these, giving us a fail. That is technically a 7 and a 3, which is a fail. Encounter some enemy, trap, or calamity as you leave your current location. Generate a room from oracles. Generate a room from the oracles when or if the encounter is resolved. When or if the encounter is resolved. Alright, so Harmug will leave this area because he's gone into the long grass. He will, let's see, we have an encounter. Something will befall him. I mean, the first thing that comes into mind would think that Harmug falls down a pit, but if I make Harmug fall down a pit, I don't know how Harmug is getting out of said pit, which means Harmug is in the pit for good, because he has no rope, he has no blanket, he has no one to help him out of the pit. So putting Harmug in a pit kills Harmug. He will drown because of all the drizzle. So hold on, I'll be back. This is enough. So yes, so if I put Harmug in a pit, Harmug isn't getting out of a pit, so that wouldn't be a good thing. We could have Harmug, because it does say, I mean, it would be quite crippling, and Harmug is on 3 hit points, so that would mean that, so what I'm thinking is if, sorry, it was in my head, if I make Harmug, so it says encounter some enemy, trap, or calamity, maybe it's a trap. Long grass, maybe there's, so it does say that one of the enemies, one of the common encounters is a gameskeeper. So maybe the gameskeeper, or there is also a man trap. So one of the common encounters is a man trap. Right. Man trap. DR12 presents or snares you or a random companion doing D4 damage. Pass a DR12 strength test to open it. Lose 1 hit point each time you fail. Okay. Alright. So if this okay, what we're going to say is dead set, because Harmog rolled the foul. He doesn't notice in the long grass there's a man trap, bear trap, man trap, and Harmog will step into it and it will snare Harmog. So doing a D4 damage. Now Harmog is on 3 hit points. If this rolls a 3 or a 4, I will say that Harmog is on the brink and will consume that potion. So Harmog will then heal to be up, but of course he's used that resource of that elixir now. Then Harmog will have to pass his DR12 strength test to try and open it and get out, losing the 1 hit point each time. So that seems like a fair, bad outcome for such a bad roll. So we will have Harmog turning and starting to push. Have you ever walked through long grass? It's quite difficult trying to push through long grass and get through. And as he's doing that, he's going, "Oh, this is so tiring. Hopefully I'll come across..." As it smashes into Harmog's leg, causing 1 point of damage. Okay. Putting Harmog on 2 hit points. But that 2 hit points is a long way away from his 7. So Harmog will fall down, start to grab his leg. Oh my god! I think you instantly, if you attempt that, you try and pry it off your leg to stop the pain. So I'm going to instantly give him a DR12 strength test to try and pry it open and get his foot out. He rolled a 10 plus the 2 does give him a 12. Okay, so he manages to pull it apart from his leg. Oh god! And will just slip his leg out and let go as it clangs shut. Oh, my leg. Oh, my leg. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ow. Alright. Oh god, I feel bad. Alright. Oh, sorry, I'm going to drink that potion. I'm going to drink the little life elixir. I mean, I've got to. Otherwise, I've got to go to sleep for the night now. Which just seems to be a bit... Cause it's still daytime. I've climbed a wall, been attacked by imps, and now I've walked into a bloody man trap. Look, I'm going to drink it. So he pops the topper off, smells it. It smells a mixture of sort of like mead, that honey, sort of herbal honey smell. He will then get one of the high rolling D6s, and he will drink it down. Oh god, why does it smell so nice? But it tastes like garlic. 5 hit points. That puts him back to 7, so he's on max hit points. Oh god. Oh, all my insides feel like they're all moving around. Oh god. And so that scratch from the goblin from yesterday starts to knit together. The back of his head, the hair starts to regrow. Ow, 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 ow. And Harmug will sit on the ground for a bit, pant, maybe have a drink of water, and then go. All right. Oh god, I've got to find something. Let's see if we can find a way to get a good view and see where that misery lodges in here. Where we got? So we have a dungeoneering move, +1 because he's found 1 good thing. So we have a 14 and an 8, which is a weak hit. So with a weak hit, we roll. Weak hit, enter a generic room, use the room descriptor oracles on page 13 to reveal the room type. Right, so first off, I suppose I should draw a man trap in long grass. Man trap in long grass. So we have our fence, going to a fence where we climbed over. There's our man trap in our long grass. Let's suppose I should draw the heads on the top of each of these posts, really. Anyway, so we need to replace our D12 for the room type with this D12 here, which is a room type from on this one here. Do we have pathways coming out during? I guess we'd have room exits, potential places that Harmog can go next. So we have D20 room adjective, D12 purple room type, D4 room exits, and D12, where's the other one gone? There it is. Green D12 room contents. So we have 17 purple 5, 4 for exits, 10 for contents, which gives us, what does that give us? That gives us 17 is misty, foggy, smoky. Misty, foggy, smoky, a misty, foggy, smoky herb garden. Okay. So he enters a small herb garden. We rolled a 4 and we have 1 special room so far found, which means there are no exits. So he'll have to backtrack from this to come back into the long grass, which is over the fence. Well, we didn't roll what was over the fence, did we? How many? Oh, hold on. It does say on here. 1 exit beyond the gates. Okay. Well, we've got a grassy bit. I'm going to say that there are other places that we could go, so we could backtrack and find other ways, because otherwise we've just found. So we have found a herb like one of those little enclosed, like the, what was that Ina's Biting book called? The Magic Garden? Magic Garden? The Secret Garden. Like the Secret Garden. So there's a little herb garden. So he's found the entrance and had a look in, and there's the a little enclosed herb garden which contains an unstable or hazardous environment. So all the plants have gone a bit mad, and he has come across hazardous. Luckily, there's no reason to go. Hazardous garden. There's no reason to enter this garden because there's no way out. He can clearly see that there's a wall going all the way around the outside. Alright, this doesn't look like a very good idea coming in here. This is a bit yeah. I could have a search. I could have a search around to see if I can find anything, but it's going to be a bit risky, and I might need to avoid the plants, which means I've got to be a bit nimble. But I might be able to find something if I have a search, I suppose. Alright, what we got? So this says a DR12 omens, so you could get +1. So okay, so Harmug is going to take his life into his hands, and he's going to attempt to search. So first off, he needs to make a DR12, a normal agility check, which he is at -2 for, -1 because he's got +1 agility, to try and avoid of the plants which are snapping out at him and lashing out, just like basically it's like the herb classes in Harry Potter, basically. 8. So Harmug gets attacked by one of the plants, which will do a D2's damage as it flicks against Harmug's skin. 2 points of damage. Sort of this acidic type of plant lashes out against Harmug's face. Ow! But Harmug does get to do a search. Doing technically a 10 and a 13 against DR12, so that's a weak hit. So a D4 he finds 2 corpse plunder. So he finds, if this is probably going to be what it always is, which is a big bag of silver. Hold on, can't do that. We'll use the low because it's got to be 2 different coloured dice. So this is the purple is the ones. 43. 43. What? 43. Bond. A local potentage. A local potentage owes the holder a sizable amount. Alright. So basically it's an IOU. An IOU which says 44 silver. An IOU. We drunk that elixir, didn't we? So we don't have the elixir. So this is an IOU saying the holder is owed 44 silver pieces from, now who is the person? Sir Gilbert Scry. Okay, so Harmug has his IOU saying that because he holds it, he's owed 44. Oh, this is great. 44 silver. Sir Gilbert Scry. Who's Sir Gilbert Scry? Fantastic. Okay, so Harmug is going to attempt to get out of here. What time is it? 50 minutes. He'll attempt to get out, and then I think he is going to try and find a quiet place to have a sleep, and because the sky's becoming a bit overcast. 16, yeah, 16 is all right. He can get out. So he avoids that plant this time. Maybe he crawls out, going below the level of the beds, and Harmug is going to. So he's still inside the park. He's still exploring the park. Let's write IOU on here. IOU. So it doesn't really take up a whole slot because he can slip that in his shoe. So he's in the Pal Park and he's going to find himself somewhere that he can try and sleep. Now, I will make a camping roll. He will consume 1 lot of food. And we will see. So if he has a failed camping roll or a weak camping roll, we will either throw a rare or a common encounter against Harmug, and we'll resolve that and have him wake up next session, or he will just sleep and wake up next session. So I think because we are in Pal Park and there's less things wandering around, I am going to say that we will drop the normal DR12 presence check down to a catch a breath DR9 presence check, but he will still get the same benefits as if he's been camping, because there's less things wandering around, so there's less of a chance of him being disturbed. I think that feels fair to me, which means he gets to re-roll his omens and get a D6 hit points back, though he's only 2 hit points from max. So this is a presence check. He has a presence of 0. A 16 and a 17. So even if he was doing a normal one, so Harmug, so we'll start a new day. Next session will be new day in the park. Yeah, was thinking Imp Bat. Imp Bat. What is this? This is new sport, isn't it? It's like baseball. Imp Ball. Imp Ball. Imp Ball. Imp Ball. What I call is what I call this, isn't it? Hey. All right. Sleep time. I'm going to consume one bit of food. Yum 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 yum. If I sleep near this herb garden, it smells quite nice, all herby, and no one in their right mind's going to come here because it's all hazardous. I'm going to re-roll my omens, which I could get a second omen if I roll high. Yeah, I did. I got 2 omens. That's outstanding. I need that because otherwise I'm a bloody goner. And I get a D6 hit points back. So this is a whole D6, not just a D2. That's only 1 point. That's awful. Putting him on 6 hit points instead of 7. I consumed the ration. Done that. Alright. Job done.